Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tropical Empress in Spirit. My name is Amanda. Hi, my beautiful people. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back, beautiful people. I appreciate all y'all's love, support, likes, comments, all y'all's donations and y'all's gift packages. I greatly appreciate them so much. I can't even extend or express how much gratitude I have for all of y'all who've been there for me from the beginning and who continue to be there for me and support me on this journey. And as I go through my own journey, I know many are going through, the same thing, some similarities and others it's different. But thank you for putting your love, faith, and trust in me and for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe. It's free. And also like the video so that way it reaches more people. And I greatly appreciate it. If y'all are looking for a personal reading from me, I do paid readings on my live streams, which I do 4 or 5 nights a week starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. You could show up on one of my live streams and get a personal paid reading from me there, or if you want more privacy where you don't have an audience to hear what's going on in your life or what spirit, has to guide you towards, you can also email me at mandaepanda@gmail.com. And you can, send me an email and ask any questions you have. And I can share the links with you to all my payment options. And just be patient with me, y'all. Give me some time to get to y'all's emails because I get so busy with so many different things and I get pulled in a million different directions. So I greatly appreciate those of you who've been patient with me. I will respond to y'all's emails as soon as possible. So for my beautiful people, if you're new here and I just saw a bright spirit orb, I do these readings, these collective daily readings. And so understand me, beautiful people. This is a general collective. It does not matter what zodiac sign you are. It covers all 12 signs in one. So if you're here, you're part of the collective, okay? So no, this is not a personal reading. It's a general collective. So take what messages resonate and leave behind the rest. If something doesn't fit, please don't force it to fit. All right, beautiful people. So let's get into this. When I pulled cards earlier today, I was asking Spirit, what's the overall energy? What's going on with y'all? And they're showing me that there's something y'all are struggling with. There seems to be a lot of chaos going on in y'all's energy right now. I feel like some of y'all are going through what is known as the dark night of the soul, where you're going through like a spiritual awakening and you're having all these different emotions. And sometimes it might feel like you're depressed, but you're like, wait a minute, everything's going good in my life. And why do I feel so blue? That kind of energy. So it's becoming very chaotic. For others, y'all are going through what Spirit is showing me, a soul contract. So something either just ended or it's getting ready to end. And I feel like it's going to bring a lot of heaviness, a lot of pain, um, a lot of questions. All right. So spirits want you to allow things to flow. Why I say that is, again, they're showing me like you got to just come to having that acceptance and letting things flow. And that was the card I got for the overall energy. Let things flow. Allow things to come as they are. Feel whatever it is you feel. Whatever thoughts you have, I would even encourage you to jot them down in like a diary, journal, something like that, just to get it out of you, to release, whatever anger, frustration, pain, even your doubts, your self-sabotaging ego. Get out of that energy, release it, let it go. Spirit's asking you to surrender and trust right now because they're trying to bring things towards you. They're trying to give you that path of where you're meant to go for your greater, higher purpose, for why you are here, which part of it is soul contract. So when I'm looking at the overall personal growth, spiritual growth, that's exactly what I'm getting. I'm getting soul contract. So part of this, um, dark night of the soul is pertaining to soul contracts. Some of them are getting ready to begin, others are ending, and those cycles are being closed out. So there is like this feel. I feel like many are being pulled in two different directions, and you're unsure what to do. Okay, spirits ask you to trust that these soul contracts that are getting ready to end, if they haven't ended yet, receive it. Just say, okay, Spirit, this is for my greatest good. I'm trusting you. I'm understanding that this soul contract, they were only meant to be in my life for a specific amount of time, and now it's time to walk away, or it's time to, let them walk away and not, try and hold on to them. And yeah, and it might even cause some pain, some eternal deep wounds that I feel go back to maybe your childhood, because the underlying energy is trauma here. So I do feel like there is going to be some a heavy heart filled with pain. Um, may even feel like, someone just stabbed you in the heart and you can't, be able to think straight. You can't even be able to stay focused because your heart is in such a great misery. It feels like your heart's being shattered into a million pieces. That I understand, and I know it's not easy. I feel like, the people in our life that, are only meant to be in our life temporarily for a short while, you've got to love them and appreciate the time that you have with them. But once that time has come to an end, love them enough to let them go instead of trying to hang on to them, because they're meant to go somewhere else just like you are meant to go somewhere else. So Spirit's saying right now, when it comes to your relationships, sometimes it's a lost cause. Okay, sometimes trying to hold on to someone isn't what Spirit needs you to do. They need you to release them. Allow that bird to be released out of that cage, and in the process, you also releasing yourself out of that cage too. You're not meant to both be there together anymore. So Spirit's saying stop fighting it. Because for some of y'all, I feel like this is a relationship that's ending, or is getting ready to end, or it's just recently ended. And this doesn't have to be romantic, y'all. It can be, many times it is. But this can also be pertaining to your family. Maybe you have to walk away and separate yourself because your family's very toxic. Or this can be in a professional um, relationship where, you were meant to be somewhere for a certain amount of time, and now that time's come to an end. And yeah, it's hard to understand why, it's time for to walk away. I get that, and I get there's confusion, there's frustration. It's like, why? Because that's what I keep hearing in my head is why. You have all these questions of why. Spirit doesn't want you to question why. Take what lessons you've learned from that time that you've had there, whether that's at your employer, or this is with, your family that you're having to walk away from, a romantic relationship. This can even be a friendship that has gone through and has had to come to an end. And it's okay, okay? And it's okay to feel what you feel. The Spirit just needs you to know that right now it's a lost cause, okay? It's a lost cause trying to hold on to them. So the underlying energy is breakup. Say goodbye to them and wish them well. And beautiful people, saying goodbye is not easy. I understand that. I understand when we love someone, we appreciate them so much being a part of our life, bringing us the happiness, the joy, the memories. And yeah, there might be moments of frustration where we're not getting along and sadness. It's understandable. But Spirit's asking you to trust what they are doing here, that this time's come to an end. And, it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to hurt. Doesn't mean you're not supposed to feel whatever you feel. It's okay. That's part of being human. But I need you to move on now and focus on new things. Focus on what they are bringing towards you. And it's a matter of releasing the past. Let go of the old. So then you got room for the new to come in where you're meant to go. And yeah, it might bring forth many mixed emotions. But Spirit's asking you to trust that there's a greater plan in store for you. And there might be some challenges that come along the way. That's understandable too. But it doesn't mean you're going to have to live in that, pain and that misery and that frustration or doubt forever. You might need to be lost for a little while. And that's okay too. You'll find your way back. Okay? Do not feel like you're a lost cause, though. And when it comes to your money, career, Spirit showed me there's been some mistakes that have been made on your part. Maybe for some of y'all, it's not for everyone, okay? Understand. Just, take whatever resonates again, beautiful people. Because I can hear some of y'all saying right now, maybe I ain't done nothing. What have I done wrong? Maybe you haven't, okay? But maybe that's just the thing. Mistakes could be a hiccup. Maybe did not see something that you should have been able to caught at work. For example, they're showing me like a contract, okay? And they're showing me like there was something there that you overlooked. And because you overlooked it and now it's coming back and biting you, now you're seeing it's like, dang, I can't believe I made that mistake. What's wrong with me here? You're human. It's okay. But part of your growth, part of you evolving, is you're meant to make mistakes. Exactly why we're here, okay? Maybe that mistake was meant to get you out of where you've been at, where maybe you've had to walk away from an employer, whether that was by your choice or not. But there's something in here you're meant to learn from it, because the underlying energy is teacher. So there's something here that they're trying to teach you. But it can even be that maybe you're meant to take these lessons, grow from it, evolve from it, and maybe it's time to teach someone else, be a mentor, be an inspiration to others. So that way, they don't end up making the same mistakes as you did. Not saying that, you made major mistakes or it was something that could have been prevented, maybe, maybe not. We all, process information differently. We both, we all observe things differently. But maybe that was just, part of the lesson. Maybe we're meant to look at things from a different point of view than what we're used to. Because I get the energy of complacency. So Spirit's saying stop getting so comfortable and accepting things for what they are. Stop, um, I don't want to say be lazy. That's not the word, but um, stop slouching on, your responsibilities, on things that, you should be paying closer attention to. So that way it doesn't come and bite you in the butt later. It could be a simple mistake, yeah. And for some of y'all who this resonates for, it might be the smallest mistake. Yeah, we get, in trouble for it. It happens, but don't allow it to be like, damn, what's wrong with me? I'm an idiot. That's the thoughts that Spirit's bringing forward to me right now. Spirit's saying, no, you're not an idiot. You're a human being. You're having a human experience just like the rest of us. So, but again, maybe that's part of the lesson, is to be able to examine things from a different point of view instead of getting so comfortable, doing the same thing, I get the energy of someone who it's repetitive. So there was something like you needed to break out of that repetitive cycle and do things a little differently. And I know there's some times in life where it's like, okay, you do something and it works, right? So why would you change it? Yeah, maybe. Sometimes, we're not meant to change, how we're, handling things or our approach. But other times, we're meant to look at things from, differently and change how we approach it, and that might be not just necessarily a lesson for us, how to adjust, how to evolve, but maybe it's a lesson for the people around us too, to see, yeah, there's more than one way of doing something, because that's the energy I get. So, I get the energy of being too rigid. So they're trying to break you out of being so rigid too. So just keep that in mind, beautiful people. Now for the oracle cards, I have here from the Guides of the Hidden Realms. Oh, before I do that, my bad. Let me back up, y'all. Spirit showing me the advice is breaking yourself from this devilish energy. You know how I was saying, like a bird, being trapped in a cage? It's like you getting stuck in this ego and you're not allowing yourself to break free from it. or you're around a toxic environment that the people were like this devilish energy, you know, making things, harder than what they needed to be. I get someone who's very petty, and so they just take the little things and like internalize it and take it so personally, which has created more of a toxic environment for you too. Spirit saying, this is why you got to get out of this self-sabotaging belief and stop getting complacent, being in this devil energy, and allowing things to get to your ego. Put your ego to the side, break free from it, because that's the justice in this. The justice in this, as I get the justice card, which is part of the advice too, is there's greater things on the horizon. Just know that, because I even have the Page of Pentacles here. So there's greater things on the horizon. This is going to be your answer, your advice, once you break free from this. But you've got to break free from this devil energy first for this to come in. New opportunities. And if you can do that, beautiful people, Spirit showing me the Ace of Swords, you're going to get the clarity you need. Because I feel like right now, or the way things have been, I get the Ten of Wands with this. And this is, the outcome. You're going to be able to see all the burdens, the heavy weight that maybe you weren't able to see during the time that you were somewhere else. Maybe this was at a job. Maybe this was in a relationship. Or maybe this is something internal, like, could be some childhood trauma that's coming to the surface. And it's bringing all these, see all these wands, being carried or being put in their back. That's what you were carrying around. So now you're going to be able to see. It's like, yeah, as much as, I enjoy this person, I enjoy, them being in my life, it just came with a lot that I wasn't wanting to carry. Or like when it comes to your job, maybe there was too many burdens here that you're carrying. Maybe you're carrying more weight than you were meant to. So Spirit need to Spirit needs you to break yourself free from that. And once you do and you drop it, this clarity will come in for you to be able to see exactly what you're meant to see from all these burdens, that it wasn't a healthy place for you to be. And that's going to have you now in this Two of Wands, where you're going to now have to make a choice. What's the next phase? What's the next step? You have more than one option. And that's what Spirit wants to remind you. There's more than one option. And Spirit wants me to say this to y'all. Do not just go down the road that seems like it is the easiest for you. Sometimes that one that looks like it's going to be difficult at times, going to be a lot harder. That's where you're going to get your greatest growth from. So, but it's up to you to decide. Spirit's leaving this in your hands. Once you go through evaluating your life and the places, things, people you've had or have gone through to go through all this with these weights, this burden, this heavy load, and have that clarity. Because I feel like many of y'all have gotten stuck in an energy of not being able to even have that clarity where you're at. So drop the heavy weight. Don't allow others to just put things on you. I know I wouldn't want, all that being put on me, especially when, I tap into some of y'all's energy right now. I get that heaviness, that tightness in my chest. So this has created a lot of anxiety. Spirit's wanting you to let it go. Trust the plan now. Trust what they have in store for you and what's coming in next. Alright, and now for the rest of the oracle cards, beautiful people. I have here the Alchemy of Poison. And it says, transformational lessons occur when we're invited to revisit our old wounds, so we can rise above, find resilience, and accept the magic of radical forgiveness. Today, if you experience an echo of the pain of the past, there is a solution. Understand it for what it is. Your nervous system is activated, and your perspective, and you perceive the world through the lens of your child self, causing you to overreact. Call on your divine connection spirit and release all resentments to any person, place, institution, or situation. Remember, when you simmer in resentment, it's like drinking poison in an attempt to hurt the other. Let go of the pains of the past. Do the inner work and contemplate how to develop more compassion and a sense of humor. Don't take this world so personally. Soon these triggers will stop clamoring for your attention. And beautiful people, it's like I always tell y'all, and this is the best way I can, express this to y'all. When we talk about, poison, I think of things bleeding over. We're bringing it forward baggage, right, from our past relationships, past places we've worked at, even from our family, and it still kind of carries with us, and we carry it around today, right? And the only problem with that is when we go through and we hold on to those things, especially the negative things, where we're having to face the darkness or having to face our shadow self, we end up going through and poisoning the new blessings that's coming towards us. So think of it, like in a relationship, no matter whether it's romantic, friendly, platonic, professional, even in our family. We go through and we start over and we try and connect to, new people and such. And we end up letting them pay for the people from the past who have hurt us, who have triggered us, who, have left a huge wound in our heart that we aren't able to let go because we haven't allowed ourselves to heal from it yet. And in order for people to prove that they love us, or for us to even feel that we're worthy of others, we make them pay for the pains of the past. So it bleeds over. You go through and you think of like an example would be like if you've been cheated on in a romantic relationship and you start a new romantic relationship and you start getting jealous and insecure and you start saying to your new partner like, where you been at, who you talking to, and then you start snooping around. You might even go through their cell phone, watch their social media, see who they're talking to. But it's like you're like a drill sergeant, you're like an interrogator. You keep interrogating them and you need them to tell you that no, they're not cheating on you. No, they're not interested in this person or that person, no matter where they are, whether it's in a friend group or it's a friend, it's a friend of the family, or even it's someone you work with. And that person just carries this heavy weight and they're afraid to move around because they're afraid that they do one thing that you're going to, blow it, out of proportion and make them think like, oh, they did something wrong. Oh, they're cheating. Don't do that to them. If you're not ready to be in a relationship, if you're not ready to give that person your honest, heart and trust them 1000%, then don't do it. Don't make them pay for the sins of the past. And it applies in all types of relationships, but that's the best example. You're allowing that pain of the past to bleed over into what's coming towards you now, including the people in the different places, the different environments, the different aspects of your life, the different facets. Don't do that. You deserve better. You deserve happiness and peace. So does the people you are coming into contact with, whether it's people from, that have been there, on this journey with you or continue to walk with you, or it's new people. Give people the opportunity. Give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove, to you that, okay, you can completely trust them. But okay, if they show themselves to not be trustworthy, that's different. That I get. But don't bring the pain of your past and make them pay for what someone else did to you before you met this person or started this new relationship. So just think of it in that context, beautiful people. Because that poison can be deadly. And it can end, all relationships if you allow it to. Where everybody just walks away and they don't even want to be bothered anymore. And I watched that happen to somebody, and they didn't know what to do. It's like, what's wrong with me? Because they had to face some darkness within themselves. And they needed time to be alone and heal. And I had to tell them that. And no, they didn't like hearing it from me. And, they didn't, want to accept what I was saying to them. But I had to tell them that. And they had to, take some time away and, to really consider what I was saying to them. I wasn't saying it to hurt them. I was trying to help them, make them see what everybody else around them couldn't make them see. So maybe there's something you're doing too that you haven't recognized yet that's, causing this heartache or causing you to treat people differently than how you would treat them had, something else happened that didn't hurt you so deeply. So just think about that, beautiful people. All right. Now for the from the other deck I have this is the animal elders. I get the elder bear. Rest your body. And it says every day you have a finite amount of energy, and it's your choice where to whom you direct that energy. The elder bear is asking you to slow down and turn your attention to your energy supply at this time. Check in. Have you been overextending yourself in the area of your life? Are there places where you might be leaking energy? Bears are strong medicine, often showing up as spiritual protectors. During the fall, bears fiercely nourish themselves, gaining fat stores for the winter months ahead. Their spirit reminds you to stay strong. You must assess your resources and get firm on what or who receives your attention and precious time. The elder bear is calling you more deeply into your relationship with yourself, asking you to make an honest assessment of what is draining or fatiguing you. So what's fatiguing you? Is your energy supply being drained by someone who doesn't deserve it? Or, are you doing it to yourself? Because like many of y'all feel like you're doing this to yourself. You keep getting lost in this, battle of yourself, which I feel like that's coming in with the dark night of the soul. It's forcing you to face a darkness within yourself that for a long time you weren't willing to face. You weren't willing to come head to head with. And now it's like the universe is saying no. Okay, we've tried, allowing you to go through this in your time frame, but in order for you to meet your other contracts that, you sign up for, that's why you're here, we gotta now force your hand. It's kind of like, what I say to y'all sometimes when, you get like the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is kind of like, to me, like the Two of Wands to a certain degree. You're sitting on that fence, not able to make a decision. I would go here and go over here. Which way, right? And because you're still sitting on that fence and not making a choice, the divine's making it for you. And now they're forcing your hand. So what within you needs to heal? What is it that you haven't been willing to face? And allow yourself to even rest. Maybe it's time to give yourself a break. Chill out. Go into hermit mode. Go into self-reflection is what this card's telling me. And it's what Spirit's telling me. In order for you to really take a step back and look around at your world, what is it that you need to cut out? Maybe it's not just what, maybe it's who, or maybe it's a place. So, and maybe there's some things within yourself that you've been, hiding from, you've been running away from. And now the universe is forcing you to face it now. But before you do, you got to give yourself that time to really take, advantage of restoring your body. For some of y'all, feel like you have run yourself down. Stop doing that to yourself. Your body needs a break. It needs to restore. It needs to repair itself, just like we need to repair mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Our bodies need that too. And I feel like once you allow your body to, take a breather and you don't get so lost in your head, you might start to feel better. And I feel like that cloud will start to clear again. Where maybe you weren't able to see things before. Because I'm getting Spirit showing me like this dark cloud. I feel like it's going to open up where you're able to face yourself now. So be willing to face yourself. But first, give yourself that break. Go into hermit mode and rest. And then face the rest of that dark path. You don't even go down now. Okay? And then for the angel card, beautiful people, I got Uriel. and it says it's going to be okay. No matter what's happening, it's going to be okay. Everything is working out for you. The angels of light are shining upon you, your situation, and anyone involved. If you are feeling overwhelmed or anxious, know this is a reminder of how much you care about things turning out well, and they will turn out well. And the positive affirmation is, thank you, Uriel, for helping me trust in the process. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me trust in the process. And that's what I have for y'all, beautiful people, for the general collective reading. Again, beautiful people. Oops. I'm sorry. Again, that was a general collective reading. It's not a personal reading. So take what messages resonate and leave behind the rest, beautiful people. So I hope this message has found you doing well. I hope it's giving you some guidance into your life, into your world, to take a look at what's going on around you. I hope it's also it's been encouraging to let you know you're not in this alone. No matter how alone you feel, you're not. And the divine wants you to know that too. So my beautiful people, again, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and leave me a comment. If you need a personal paid reading from me, you can find me on my live streams 4 or 5 nights a week. It varies, but I do start it at 10 p.m. Eastern. That time might change within the next month. I might start earlier than that, but for right now, it's 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you need a personal reading from me, you can find me on live stream. If you can't make it to my stream, I do one-on-one private readings too, but you would have to email me to get the information on that. And you can email me again at mandaepanda@gmail.com. So thank you, my beautiful people, for being here. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Until next time. Bye.